They're playing Whitney. I wonder how they compare to the boys' team. The boys' team destroyed us.
Traditionally, they look pretty strong, but
Yeah.
this year maybe not quite as strong. So
For the girls, yeah. The
Yeah.
boys just shredded.
yeah, the boys
Okay.
are
All right.
Shredded our guys.
Stand by. And we welcome you to Bella Vista High School here in Fair Oaks, California. It's time for another night of lacrosse. Girls action this time for you as the Bella Vista Broncos will get set to take on the Wildcats of Whitney. Good evening, everybody. George Thorelson, Aaron Kehoe with you. Glad to have you along for high school lacrosse on YouTube. And as we take a look at what's happening on the field right now, we see the Whitney Wildcats were just, they weren't really introduced, but they were at the very least And right now, we'd just like to apologize. We're having some audio difficulties and some technical issues going on right now. So that's why it's not sounding like maybe you've been hearing some strange noises here in the background.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bella Vista JV Girls Lacrosse game. Welcoming Whitney as the Wildcats. The snack bar is open, everybody.
Bobby's part of the broadcast.
All right, I think we've got it fixed. We apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for everything, for the difficulties, but now we are ready to make this thing happen and play some high school lacrosse for you. Again, George Thorelson, Aaron Kehoe with you. It is Whitney that's kind of in the maroon colored jerseys, and Bella Vista is in white. This is the JV game. We will be getting this one underway for you here, and then we will be bringing you the varsity game a little bit later on. Aaron, good to have you back. Ready for some JV lacrosse as they're getting ready to draw right now.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a road trip, but happy to be back. It's a beautiful night tonight. I mean, you couldn't ask for better weather, and excited to get this draw underway.
And both teams are missing some key players tonight. We'll pick that up as we go along. We would have wanted to have addressed that in the opening remarks, but we're all good right now. So here's Bella Vista with Mackenzie Kavanaugh in possession right now. Right out in front. There's an opening and a shot that is going to trickle wide. The goalie may have gotten a hand on it or a stick on it. Bella Vista keeps control of the ball. A week ago, both teams, both the varsity and the JV, were in Napa. There's a shot and a score for Bella Vista. And that is Sarah DeMucha, the other one. She had a pretty good game against Christian Brothers. I believe she had a couple of goals against Christian Brothers.
Yeah, she did. Looked very good against Christian Brothers. And good to see the Broncos already on the board here early in the game.
And so for Sarah, that is the first goal of the night. We mentioned 2 goals against CB. So she's got things off and running early for Bella Vista.
Yeah, not even 40 seconds into the first quarter here. Good to have a lead, and let's see if the Broncos can build on it here as we get ready to draw again at the center of the field.
And the interesting thing about girls lacrosse, as you saw them, is you don't have to face each other like you would in boys. And so they often take their time at the draw circle determining what position they want to take. And they often do that side-by-side draw. Whitney controls. Right in on goal, and there is Story Wharton in goal, wearing her number 41 jersey that we saw in the varsity opener when she was called up for varsity duty. We've got a foul and a shot coming from the top of the 12-meter zone. And it looks like that is Grace Laird, number 17 with it, right out at top. Or is it, oh, it is coming from the 8-meter, left side. And that one goes wide. Wharton may have even gotten a stick on it.
I think she did.
Now, past few games, Story Wharton has worn a number 6, and there's already a number 6 on the team. So it looks like she's got the 41 going tonight, so that's good to see.
Yeah, maybe she just, as well as she played in that opener on the varsity, maybe she thought, well, let me stick with that. I don't know if she's superstitious or not.
Can't say as I blame her. She had a really good game in the varsity game against Roseville. Lola K. Ballard, the starting goalie for the varsity team, was injured in that game, but she is back. We will see her tonight. Right out in front, a shot and a score. Zia Martin battled back from some injuries last season, missed most of the year last year, scored in each of the first 2 games, but she's actually also, I think, I don't have it on my notes here, but I think that she had one against Christian Brothers.
I think so as well. Yeah, I mean, she's looking really well, and I know she feels good about that. I mean, anytime you have a significant injury and you're able to bounce back and really, you know, not miss a beat is really a good thing.
She the one who dares to wear number 13.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Sarah DeMucha at midfield, working against Avery Foote for the Wildcats. Wildcats have a player by the name of Cora Calderon, who is their top scorer. She's not here tonight. At least that is our understanding. She was not on the active roster that was presented at game time. DeMucha with the control. She's really played well recently.
And she's only a freshman. I mean, that's just great things to come for BB Lacrosse with her.
And of course, it runs in the family. We see that a lot with some of these players. The ones that have siblings that play, as I'm sure that Sienna is her sister. Got to be in the family, but
that's right. That almost dribbled into the.
It did. It almost rolled right in.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
On the move, here comes Bella Vista, and that's Martin again with a shot and a score. Zia Martin, 2 quick goals. Bella Vista's up 3-0. Already you can tell that Whitney is missing Cora Calderon, their sophomore midi and attacker. 14 goals on the season. She's only played in 2 games, and it was early games. It was February 27th and March 5th. So I'm guessing she's injured. I haven't had a chance to talk to the coaches, but those are the only 2 games she's played. So there's probably an injury issue going on there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're probably right. You hate to see that with any of these student athletes being injured.
DeMucha once again with the control. In front, there's a shot and a score. That's Maddie Maloney. She had one goal in the onslaught against West Park, if you will, but she got a good look there. Bella Vista is completely controlling possession here. They're winning the draws, and they're making quick work of those possessions.
Well, and so much of sports, and you know this, George, we've talked about this a lot even during football season, is momentum. And certainly for the BV JV girls team right now, they have momentum on their side. So they need to just continue to, keep their foot on the accelerator, as the expression goes, and try to jump out here to a lead that's unsurmountable for the Wildcats.
New draw partner for DeMucha. This time it is Maya Acosta, and the result is the same.
She's doing an excellent job controlling the draws, controlling most of them herself, and then passing the ball off and moving it around, which is confusing the defense a little bit.
Maloney, who just scored the goal a moment ago. Martin. Maloney once again looking for an opening. You can hear some of the fans urging players along as well. Good job, Maddie Bunsey. Right out in front. There's a shot. That time it is a save.
Great job by the goalkeeper, number 8, Amber Sandu, on that. I mean, that was a great crossing pass right in front and a wide open shot that the goalie stopped.
And Acosta having trouble controlling, but she finally gets it. And we've got a whistle. Looks like possession will stay with Whitney. Bella Vista forcing a turnover. Quick movement right now for the Broncos. Emma Rowan. Rowan loops behind the net, I should say, right out in front. There's a shot and a save. Point blank range. Sandu with another save.
Yeah, she's 2 for 2 on those. Really excellent work by the goalkeeper for the Wildcats.
Interception. This is Rowan again, charges in on goal with the yellow netting in the stick. And another save by Sandu. Sandu controls that. Whitney trying to control it. It's going to go out of bounds. Bella Vista will take possession. Rowan right out in front. And it looks like she's drawn herself a shooting opportunity here. I guess these are the equivalent to free throws in basketball, maybe?
Yeah,
and they're not
similar.
really free because you can defend them.
But they have a much better look at the goal.
There's Rowan. And that goes
That
in.
went
That
in,
takes
yeah.
a bounce and goes over the stick of Amber Sandu. So Emma Rowan with a goal.
Yeah, that's one of those, hey, it passed the line. It's a goal. May not have been fancy, but it got in.
She had goals against West Park and Christian Brothers as well.
She did. And I know, for Whitney fans, it's 5-0 right now, and you're going, oh my goodness, what are we getting into tonight? But really, kudos to the goalie for the Wildcats, doing a great job. She has faced a high number of shots in this first quarter already, and has done a great job defending a high percentage of them. The fact that 5 have gotten through doesn't tell the whole story there, and I think in sports it's important to make sure you're painting the whole picture, and that is, she's had a couple at point-blank range and has defended those well without any help from the defense. So good job for her.
So the draw at midfield. And that's Jillian Bunsey. She's on the move. She's got all kinds of time there, and a whistle as she took the shot. The shot does not go. And she may have just drawn herself an opportunity to shoot.
Yeah, there seems to be some discussion, but yeah, I think she's going to get, Jilly's going to get a shot from the 8-meter line there in the fan, that zone. They're just lining everybody up. And again, for those watching with JV lacrosse, you're going to have a lot more instruction going on. You're teaching, helping the players understand where they need to be, so it takes a little bit longer to get these shots lined up.
And guess what?
And it goes.
Jillian Bunce, her first goal of the game. 9 on the season, which exceeds what she did last year for the JV squad.
Mm-hmm. We still have 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
In the first quarter alone. Well, we talked about both teams being without players tonight, and it looks like it's really hurting Whitney a lot more than the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, they've got, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4 missing for the Wildcats. Only 1 for the Broncos.
Yeah, Maisie Hess is not here. Here's Jillian Bunce again. There's a shot. It's in, but there is a whistle. Do they make her earn it? Or, you know, we made the basketball reference earlier. I guess you don't have continuation here in lacrosse.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So awaiting the word from, and here's Buncey. She winds up, and a save by Sandu. So break for Whitney that the whistle blew before the goal was scored. Sandu will send this one down the field. It's bouncing. Is it going to roll? It is going to finally roll out of bounds, pretty much right in front of the Whitney bench.
I think the goalkeeper just wanted to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Just tired of being attacked.
And she's got to be feeling like she's under a lot of pressure. Whitney now has an opportunity on offense here. And it looks like a foul by Bella Vista.
Mm-hmm.
So we will continue on here. Jada Mowski. That's Mowski behind the goal. She will work her way back all the way around. You can hear the wind starting to kick up a little bit here. It was very windy the other night for the boys' game against Del Oro. Gianna Whitehead. Right out in front, dispossessed, and a whistle. And a shot coming from the 8-meter mark.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty much just slightly off center there to the right a little bit.
And this is Maya Acosta, number 13. You can hear some of the Whitney fans cheering her on. She scores. First goal of the game for Maya Acosta, her 5th goal of the year. And the Whitney Wildcats are on the board.
Goal, Whitney, by number 13, Maya Acosta.
Yeah, you mentioned the wind earlier. The winds here in the valley, Sacramento Valley, forecasted to be really high yesterday. Well, it started Wednesday, really, and then, as you mentioned, with the boys' game, and then through today, tapering off this evening. So hopefully we don't get many of those big gusts. That can have a fairly big impact on the ball, on shots and things. So we'll see what it does, though, as the night goes on.
I think he was talking to the wrong set of announcers. He heard what was announced over the PA system, and So, and there is the aforementioned Maya Acosta, who is dispossessed of the ball. And so here's another shot. Oh, Bella Vista. It was another opportunity, I should say. Bella Vista comes away with the ball. This is Kelly Olson. She's found the net in a few games recently as well. Ariana Watson. She'll bring it back out, and the Broncos will reset. This is Jillian Bunsey. Bunsey cuts in and draws the foul, and so she'll get an opportunity from the 8-meter mark. There's the shot, and right into the netting of the stick of goalie Amber Sandu. You got to be very careful. You don't want to just say right into the net,
right?
You know? But you know, the goalies. I've made the reference many times that it looks like just a big fish net that the goalies use.
Yeah, it
in
does.
Lacrosse. They get the larger stick because, quite frankly, they're facing a lot of shots as the first quarter comes to an end, and they need that added protection. You really feel for Amber Sandu here in the first quarter, because she has really faced a lot of pressure because Bella Vista has been controlling the ball pretty much throughout that first quarter.
Well, yeah, when you think about the number of players on the Broncos that have scored goals, right, it's kind of been a cake recipe of different players, right? But on the Whitney side of the ball, it has all been Amber Sandu, because she has both. I mean, it has all just been about her. So hopefully Whitney will make some adjustments here that will help move the ball around a little bit, get a little more defensive help for them as we move into the second quarter. And likewise for the Broncos, hopefully they'll continue to adjust and look to exploit more weaknesses in the Wildcats to keep scoring points.
And for the Broncos, they got balanced scoring in that first quarter. Jillian Bunsey, Emma Rowan, Zia Martin twice, Sarah DeMucha, and Maddie Maloney. Yes, so I mean, I'm just citing it all here and doing the math in my head. Are we at 6 yet?
That's right. Well, it was Zia's 2. Yeah,
Zia's got 2. All the other ones, DeMucha, Maloney, Rowan, and Bunsey each have 1.
Yeah.
So balanced scoring.
Yeah,
which is something that you like as a coach in a lot of different sports.
Yeah, I mean, it's selfless play, right? Because you're moving the ball around. It gives everybody an opportunity to get different looks, and I think it also does a great job of letting you work on actually setting up plays, which in JV is a little bit more challenging because you're still learning the skills and the plays. And, luckily, with girls lacrosse, certainly, I feel like the rate at which they pick the game up and go, okay, now I understand what I'm supposed to do is fairly fast. So, a couple of weeks ago when we were live, very different. And, now tonight, they look much more cohesive as a unit and as a team. So hopefully that continues into the second quarter as we keep moving here.
That's right. We have that 2-minute break between quarters.
That's right,
in girls lacrosse. I did notice the other day with the Christian Brothers game, at least in one of the games, halftime was 10 minutes. And we've been doing 5-minute halftimes. I think you need more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, the in-between quarters, I noticed, I think between the third and fourth quarter of the varsity game, they had 2 minutes on the clock, but they didn't start the 2-minute clock, I think, for 2 minutes. So that ended up being about a 4-minute break. So grateful to have, people here working the night that are, not only paying attention, but just engaged and doing a good job on the clock, because it does help the game move and, helps keep things official.
Get a look at the Whitney varsity squad that is here. And they will be wearing black jerseys with maroon numbers that are outlined in gold, it looks like. Hopefully as we hit nightfall, that won't be too difficult to see. sometimes those darker number colors are a challenge.
Agree.
But I do appreciate the fact that they are outlined in a lighter color.
That helps them pop a little bit.
Second quarter underway. Teams now switching ends. And here's DeMucha. A goal-scoring machine the last few games, including tonight with the first goal of the game. Ball goes over to Whitney, and Acosta's going to chase it all the way down at the fence.
Getting a workout in without even being on the field, technically.
These young kids, they can handle it.
Oh, to be young. That's right. Yeah, I'd need a breather if I had to go fetch the ball and then come back in. They just come right in and just take off running, sprinting down the field.
Yeah, I'd have to come out of the game.
Substitution, yeah.
Here come the Broncos. This is Martin sporting the green shoes. She scores. Green shoe power. Those are as bright as Damian Ricketts' green gloves.
Yes, they are. They must shop at the same places.
Maybe they do. Third goal of the game for Zia Martin. She's got to keep wearing those green shoes. I think we've just decided that.
Number 13, Zia Martin.
We'll have to find her after the game and let her know. That's a must. And she's easier to identify with the green shoes on.
I will agree with that. It's always great when people step up their shoe game. We had a couple of players, one on JV and one varsity for Del Oro, that were wearing chrome helmets. Shiny chrome. You could almost, comb your hair in looking at it. Here come the Broncos. And that is Emma Rowan being forced behind the net. They'll bring it back out left side. And there's Zia Martin once again. All the other Del Oro players, by the way, wore black helmets, but those two had the chrome helmets. That was
to stand
unique.
out, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. I like this offensive approach now at Bella Vista, trying something a little bit different, slowing play down a little bit, trying to move the ball a little bit and set up their plays. Really helps you learn a lot of the skills you need in this sport.
Lauren Wan, she sends it over to the right side. And that was Maddie Maloney cutting in. There's a shot. Rebound right out in front and put home. Maddie Maloney, second goal of the game.
Goal, Bella Vista
That was
by number
impressive.
11, Maddie Maloney.
So 10:09 to go in the second quarter. It is 8-1 in favor of Bella Vista.
Off to another draw.
Yes, indeed. And this is Acosta. And DeMucha. And a whistle there. Sarah DeMucha sporting the goggles. Bella Vista will take possession.
Yeah, Costa moved before the whistle blew there, so that's I don't know what you call that, but Bella Vista gets the ball because of it. A fault? Something like that? I don't know.
I think they just refer to it as a false start.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
On the draw.
Yeah.
Much like in football, you move early, like you said.
Correct, yeah.
And Zia Martin once again. Maddie Bunsey behind the net from the X position. She'll work her way around looking for a pass.
Maddie likes that little kind of lob pass to try to get it in front of the net, and it's been fairly effective tonight. Missed just a little bit short there, but has been fairly effective.
Maya Costa brings it into the attack area for Whitney. Draws a foul, and now here she is on the move. And here comes Bella Vista once again. Eleanor Bolden. Bolden with the gray and red helmet, similar to the one that Jillian Bunce wears. Buncey. I'm going to get that name right.
We got time.
Here's Whitney. This is Peyton Muntianu. Muntianu still on the move. He's looking for her teammate Madeline Reyes, and the ball is going to go over to Bella Vista.
Again with a workout just to go get the ball.
Sounds like Whitney's going to take a timeout. So we have a timeout on the field with 7:37 to go in the first half of play. It's all Bella Vista here so far. We've seen them struggle as they did against Rockland the last time we were on with the girls teams, but a good game here. They were very successful last week against Napa. In that game, the early game on Friday.
Yeah.
Was, the trip down to Napa with the varsity games getting pretty wild at the end. But we'll talk more about that during the varsity game.
Yeah.
But a very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the final score ended up like 12-2, and what's really impressive about the program as a whole. If you look at the JV record last year, they were 111-1. They're winning games this year, looking very good, very solid, and I think that just speaks to both the coaching and the engagement of the players. Sometimes when you have a coach that has a plan and believes in something, it takes a minute for the players to accept that and fully trust that what we're doing is working. And I think what you saw last year with Coach Scott Hackman as the JV head coach, and now this year as the varsity head coach, is he really wants to build a program here that is competitive. And certainly showed that as both the JV team with a win against Napa and the varsity team, like you said, we'll talk about later, but with an impressive win against Vintage.
And the varsity team, we also should point out that, they did lose on Tuesday to Christian Brothers. First 4 games were all wins. They got off to a 4-0 start. And the loss to Christian Brothers, there were some extenuating factors that came out of that game against Vintage, where 2 players were missing because of red cards.
Right.
And then also Regan Silvers is out for at least through next week with a calf strain.
Right.
So obviously shorthanded.
Yeah, I mean, when 2 of the players that are out are Regan Silvers and Paige Martin, or Paige Hackman, they control the ball on the offensive side, and then on the defensive side, down a player. They ended up having to call up a JV defender to play in the varsity game. So that's no small task either. I'm very excited, selfishly. We play Christian Brothers on senior night here in a few weeks, and so very excited to see what a rematch at full strength looks like.
By all means, yes, that is going to be an interesting matchup, and certainly because we had talked about it in the past, how those 2 schools seem to match up pretty evenly to begin with.
Right.
And BV stayed with them even without the key players. It was the final was 8-4, but it was even into the 4th quarter. The chance was still there.
Yeah, they were never truly out of the game. I mean, I don't think they ever were behind by more than 4, maybe 5 at one point, but never down by more than 4, which made a difference, and kept it competitive and in the game. And and they made some really good things. They were a little timid, and I think that probably is just a result of being maybe a little overly aggressive on the Friday night before at Vintage for that game.
And then on top of all of that, there were players that were having to do different things. because of missing players.
Correct. Yeah, adjusting and just a little out of sync. So.
All right, so we're back underway here in the second quarter. Broncos on the move once again. A fast break opportunity. Here's one. She swings to the X position. There's Maloney again. Maddie Maloney with the hat trick.
Great play. But pass was almost intercepted. Broken up there, and Broncos able to stay with it. And Maloney finds herself with a hat trick. Second player tonight for the Broncos to have a hat trick. She joins Zia Martin in the hat trick club.
So I think we need to get her some green shoes.
Yeah, maybe that could be a thing. Get a hat trick, get some green shoes.
So here we're through our commentary here on the live stream. We are affecting the budgets of the families of the players.
All in good fun.
Of course. Where can I get a good pair of green shoes?
That's right.
Watch, next time we're on, which is going to be in April, that's going to be our next live stream for the girls. Everybody shows up in green shoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's Rowan. Lauren Wan once again. Zia Martin. Speaking of green shoes. Maloney again, right out in front. Good defense there by Whitney. And that pass goes over the head of Lauren Wan and out of bounds, so this will go back over to Whitney.
Yeah, just a little high there, and that's going to happen in JV lacrosse. Just still learning. Accuracy isn't quite what it is in varsity.
Claire Sage behind the net trying to get it clear. And of course, once the whistle blows and the call is made, well, actually, as the call is being made, you can resume play. And that's what they do. Muntianu. Priscilla Romero. And Bella Vista finally scooping that one up, or almost scooping it up. I think nobody wants to get or able to get possession there.
Yeah, tried all that time, and then she committed a foul. So Whitney resumes.
Jada Mowski once again. Mowski picks it back up. Good defense by Bella Vista.
Yeah, the ball traveled so far back they had to go into the midfield.
Gianna Whitehead was having trouble controlling it, gave Bella Vista a chance to get there and come up with the possession. Zia Martin on the move, takes a shot, she scores. And the hands are in the air for the referee. A whistle did blow. It sounds like they are awarding the goal or not?
She says to keep the clock running.
So that should be a goal. Okay, I mean, we may have an injured
Injured
player.
player.
So now we do stop the clock at 4:12 to go. At this point, we are awaiting as to whether the goal counted or not.
You know what? Someone might have lost a contact.
Oh my goodness. I have been there.
Because I see some poking around the eye. That's a gray helmet, it looks like.
Oh, I can tell you stories about losing the contact lens on the football practice field when I played.
Yeah, I can, here, let's see if I can find out.
Please give a round of applause to number 13, Zia Martin.
Not a contact issue.
Okay.
I confirmed from Mom, not a contact wearer, so
Okay.
unfortunately something else.
Well, obviously she got something in her eye, it looks like. 'Cause, and you know, we're playing on field turf, so there's the black pellets that are in the field. It could be something like that. So Zia Martin will come out, and the ball is at the
So this is a 12-meter shot now?
12-meter shot. So let's reset the situation here. The score is 9-1. The goal did not count. So it is 9-1 in favor of Bella Vista.
Oh, no, it wasn't even a 12-meter shot. Whitney got the ball.
Yeah, so it must have been, the foul must have been on BV.
Yeah,
so.
it must have been.
Whitney in possession. And that's Ania Aldalco, number 18, is working the ball. Here is Devin Kettler.
As they're moving this ball around, George, I think that Zia Martin not only came out, I think she's in the penalty box.
Oh.
Because I only count 10 Broncos out there right now, plus the goalkeeper.
Okay, so they had to come out to tend to her.
So
and
she
you're
must
right,
have been.
she's on a knee in the penalty box.
Yeah, so she must have been injured with something in the eye, plus a penalty, and that would make more sense why Whitney had the ball then.
And why the goal didn't count.
Correct. Detective work tonight, brought to you by the YouTube booth.
Paige Martin. And now Whitney in possession once again. Grace Laird, right up the middle. Broncos have numbers on defense. Laird takes the shot right into the possession of Story Warden.
Great job defending that shot by Story.
Broncos on the move. Paige Martin. Martin gets it by her defender. That one off the piping. Goalkeeper's best friend. And people are probably getting tired of me saying that. And if my son wasn't playing for the boys team tonight, if he heard me say that, I've been saying that since since he played soccer for me. So, and he was a pretty good goalie in soccer.
We're crossing over here.
Oh, you're right. I was getting my pages mixed up. I was on the wrong page, I guess. That was Paige
there we
Hatfield.
go, Paige. Yeah, there we go.
It was Paige Hatfield, by the way. We'll see Paige Martin in the varsity game. Here's a shot and a score by the aforementioned Paige Hatfield.
There we go.
Got her name right just in time for her to score a goal.
Bella Vista by number 6, Paige Hatfield.
There's so many
Yes.
names and so many
Well,
things going
and
on.
we've
yeah.
got the JV roster set right over the varsity roster, and the varsity roster is a longer presentation on our board
Yep.
here because there's more players and a lot more information. If you came and saw how this is set up, you would understand. I think I can probably.
We know what's going on, though, and
address
that's
this,
all that matters, really.
Yes. So I appreciate the fact that we have a great crew that has our back.
That's right.
And I really greatly appreciate it. 1:21 to go. It's now 10-1 in favor of Bella Vista.
Zia Martin's penalty has been effectively killed off. She's still out of the game, but not in the penalty box any longer. So
she is standing on the sideline. Nobody's doing any work on her or anything like that. So hopefully this is just a breather for her. Kelly Olson. Jillian Bunsey on goal. She scores. Second goal of the game for Jillian Bunsey, 10th goal of the season. And with 56 seconds to go in the second quarter, the Broncos now have an 11-1 lead.
Jilly's looking for some green shoes too, George. She's one goal away.
You know, she's got she and Eleanor Bolden both rock that gray and red helmet. That makes them very easily identifiable.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, she just needs one more goal and she qualifies for green
shoes. That's right. That's great. Yeah. Well, they're getting ready to draw again. We were talking about the turf coming up, and I never knew that till I had kids doing this, that all those little pieces come off the turf. And one night I went out and got in the back of my pickup truck, and I thought, what on earth has happened? I didn't realize that the kids' shoes were all full of those pieces from their cleats. Yeah.
Yes. Here's another shot. That one goes wide of the net. And, you know, when you play youth sports, it's all done on grass, whether it's lacrosse or soccer. I remember, I think it was the second to last year I coached soccer. We had a game at El Dorado Hills as the first half comes to an end. And it was played at the high school football stadium. Mm-hmm. That was the first time our team, and I had coached for maybe 4 or 5 years. That was the first time we had played on field turf. And it was on the football field, so we also had to remind them the football sidelines, those thick white lines on the side, are not out of bounds.
That's right.
It's going to be the yellow markings. So you got to play the yellow lines. So it'll look like you're going out of bounds, but you're actually not.
But you're not. That's right.
So we are at halftime here at Bella Vista. George Tharlson, Aaron Kehoe with you. Thank you for joining us here for Bella Vista Lacrosse on YouTube. And again, apologies for the way it started. The broadcast started with the technical problems here, but I think we got those at least figured out, and we'll be able to pretty much run this thing pretty smoothly. And speaking of smooth, the Bella Vista offense is in high gear tonight.
Oh my goodness! I mean, when you see the selfless play, and that's really the mark of a good offense in any sport, I think. The ball movement, the different players having opportunities to score. We've got 2 players already with hat tricks tonight. Really, really impressive offensive front for the Broncos.
And again, Zia Martin, when we were last on here a couple of weeks ago, we saw her play. And again, for the first time in practically a year, because maybe she played a couple of games last year.
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think, and then she was out.
And then out the rest of the year due to an injury. It is so good to see her back.
Yeah, I mean, and just to see what she can do. I mean, this is a sport, that she really enjoys. When you miss your freshman campaign, I mean, obviously better to miss your freshman campaign than your senior campaign, but it's really nice to see her develop as a player and see her make such a contribution. Definitely will be a varsity impact next year as well for the Broncos, which will be great.
And that was the point I was just about to bring up, is these JV years are very important for these players. Because Regan Silvers is a sophomore herself and has 2 years left, and Julia Thomas is a freshman, Paige Hatfield is not going to be there forever, and there's others that aren't going to be there forever. So what are they doing to get the players ready to step into those varsity roles next year? And so for her to be back and to be playing as well as she is and getting ready to take on one of those roles next year. That's really good for Bella Vista.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that student athletes often, there's a misconception, and they say, oh, I want to play on the varsity, I want to play on the varsity, I want to play on the varsity. Okay, but then when you get to the varsity, you realize that everything is happening faster, everybody is quicker, everybody is generally stronger, just the pace of the game overall is quicker, and you don't have as much time to adjust. And so sometimes there are opportunities when you're on the junior varsity to be able to really own your craft a little bit and perfect things so that when you get to varsity, you're not constantly, that sensation of like you're almost drowning, you're barely staying above water. If you have a couple of years at JV and then move to varsity, you sometimes don't have that as much, which can be a good thing. So it's not necessary. I mean, yeah, it's skill level, but it's also just building a program, building an organization, which is what we're doing here.
That's Aaron Keogh. I'm George Tharlson. We'll take a brief break, and when we come back to you here, we'll get the second half underway. Bella Vista leads this one 11-1 here at halftime. It's worked the last couple of nights, but I'll try it in between. Just step up. See if it works.
This just in, folks. I have just now received we have also added kettle corn to the roster at our snack bar.
I'm less verbal. I'm more verbal than extrovert.
I mean, I think you sound good. It's just, because you have the camera that's there.
One, two, three, Broncos is the call as we get ready for the second half to get underway here at Bella Vista High School. The Broncos with a commanding 11-1 lead over. Just conversing with the, Jillian and Maddie Bunsey's mom about the green shoes, and
Yeah, they wanted to know what
Jillian is,
Yeah.
is almost qualified for that.
Yeah, I got us out of trouble. I kept us out of trouble, but
Oh.
they were
What-
definitely overhearing what we were saying.
Were they wondering? Oh my gosh! Now I got to budget for green shoes.
Well,
or
they thought
something?
that she was going to qualify for an award or something.
Oh,
And I said,
okay.
yeah, green shoes. Just you have to finance the green shoes, but that's oh, it's great fun.
Well, it is absolutely.
I still cannot get over how beautiful of a night it is tonight. I mean, it's just 75 degrees. Just wind has actually died down a little bit now.
I mean,
It
the
just-
wind
ooh.
the wind was crazy, and then when we were here for the Rockland game, the rain squalls that we had that
Oh,
night,
yeah.
that was a really wild night.
That was.
All right, so that's Acosta in possession of the ball now for Whitney. On the move. Montianu will pick it up. It is Peyton Montianu. We've got Peytons and pages and pages and pages of pages. We have 3 different pages over the 2 rosters, the JV and the varsity for Bella Vista.
Well, you made the joke about the book earlier, but it's true. There's that many pages. I mean, it's
Get them all on the same team. That'll be interesting.
yeah.
And that is Mowski Jada Mowski that had a little trouble with the ball there, but Whitney still in possession. Grace Laird. And that is Madeline Reyes behind the net there. Broncos control. There's Maloney. Maloney herself, a hat trick. We hope to see her in green shoes the next time she is playing. And speaking of which, there's Zia Martin.
There are the green shoes. Good to see her back in after that
Yes.
kind of whatever happened there at the end of the first half.
Maddie Bunsey, Lauren Wan. That's a nice job on the part of Whitney. Montianu's the one that picks up the loose ball. She's on the move. Long strides. And they can just keep this going. It's a running clock, so they won't tell them to start by winding the clock like happens in the boys. Montianu will work away around the back of the net. Mowski once again. Double teamed. Good defense by Bella Vista. Ball is loose. Well, maybe the defense was too good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right there. A couple geese flying over the stadium to check things out, it looks like. As they're getting set up here.
Oh, here we go.
So from the 8-meter, well, no, actually it is Bella Vista possession. So it was good defense.
Yeah, well,
So much they drew the
you
foul.
were right the first time, yeah.
Yeah. Sure looked good to me. Kavanaugh. It's just so frequently that the call happens down there and it winds up in an 8-meter shot.
Correct.
And we were just kind of expecting it. It's like the penalty flag that's thrown on the deep pass. As soon as it comes out, we automatically think it's on the defensive player. But sometimes it's offensive pass interference.
That's right.
All those football references. We'll be, Aaron and I will be together in August once again for another season of Bella Vista football. Where we will be setting up, we don't know, but there's Maloney once again. And a score, number 4 tonight for Maddie Maloney.
She now leads the team tonight in goals.
Fourth of the game.
Number 11, 11, Maddie Maloney.
What do you do at what do you do if you get to 6?
I don't know.
Do you go with the well, do you go with like the bright yellow, the highlighted
Maybe,
yellow?
yeah, we could
you know?
change the color. I like that, yeah. I was going to look here and see if the, let's see here.
Face off or draw at midfield. DeMucha facing it off against Acosta. And here's Rowan. Here's Kavanaugh. Bella Vista is missing Maisie Hess tonight, the only JV player unavailable.
Yeah, spring sickness has hit a little bit. We've got a varsity player out tonight with sickness as well. Mallory Fitzhugh.
On the move, there's a shot and a score once again for Zia Martin. And if we're going with the bright yellow shoes, she may have to trade in those green ones. Fourth goal of the game for Zia Martin.
Now we got a competition for who can have the most goals for Bella Vista tonight.
Right, it's Maloney and Martin both with 4 goals tonight.
Oh, here you go. Learning some lacrosse slang on the fly. So
Okay.
3 goals, hat trick like we thought. 6-goal game is a double hattie or a sock trick.
A sock trick.
Yeah, and if you happen to get to 9, it's a trip hattie.
A trip hattie. So Max Matalucci of Folsom had.
Goodness. That is quite the that's quite the achievement.
It was. He was just on fire that night.
Too bad it wasn't a Bella Vista player, but still, quite the accomplishment.
Here's Hatfield. And Maddie Bunsey. Aqua boys shoe game going. And Juan with the seafoam green shoes, just to bring you completely up to date. And Jillian Bunsey with looks like a bright yellow with orange soles. So
George Thorelson, folks.
We've got to keep you up to date on the shoe game.
When he says he's a play-by-play announcer, he gives you all the details you need. It's as though you were here. I love it.
Here's Hatfield behind the net. Right out in front, Maloney! Again, number 5. She's 1 away from the double hattie. Or the sock trick,
That's
whichever
right.
one you want to.
Yeah, whichever one. Yeah.
With a current score of Bella Vista 14, Whitney 1.
2/3 of the way through the third quarter here now. And I see Regan Silvers, talking about varsity players, on the field right now in a walking boot, but she is walking without crutches, and my understanding from her teammates is that earlier this week she was walking with crutches and a boot. So good improvement.
Very much so. Noticing a pink shirt theme tonight for the varsity folks. Scott Hackman is in pink, as is JV head coach Ashton Matson. And Regan Silvers. All out of bounds. And this is going to go over to Whitney. So glad you could spend a Friday with us. Broncos actually do have the possession. Hatfield.